Okay, we're just going to start off with the topic of the angels themselves. We're not going to discuss the context that we spoke about yesterday. The angels within, like, the big picture, like where they fit in the scheme of things. Even though that's the previous chapters and the previous paragraphs are actually talking about that. But we're going to talk about the angels, the names, the way they're structured. Angels are like in the human world, there's a structure in the government. So also in the angels, they have structure, and we're going to learn about that a little bit. And some other interesting things. Different angels on different levels in different worlds. And we're going to learn some of the main points. Okay, so these are the angels and their roots. That's what it's called. This we're learning from a sefer Sefer of the Ramchal, which is basically a summary of the Eitz Chaim and other Kabbalah Sfarim, mostly the Eitz Chaim, the Arizal's Kabbalah, and this is the chapter that's summarizing the topic of angels. So we're going to Nefash Ata Seder HaMalachim. We're now going to explain the order of the angels, the levels of angels. Before this chapter, we actually spoke about the levels of neshamas, like who comes from the neshama of, we discussed the 12 different tribes and how each of the neshamas are associated with 12 different tribes, and the three avos, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and Cain and Hevel, how they all go rooted back to the two main branches of neshamas that Adam Rishon had. But now we're going to talk about the malachim, which are very different. So the order, the level and order, organization of the malachim. Kinei hem seder echad, because they are one order. He's going to explain, and he puts a footnote. The Friedlander puts these footnotes here. 984 says here. He's saying acher. Sorry. Different than the order of the neshamas of the souls, we have an order of angels, which is we're going to see. V'hu seder haroi lios bebuchinas mesharsim, and this is the appropriate order that's appropriate for servants, because we spoke about yesterday that the angels are servants. The angels are servants of Hashem, and also supposed to be servants when we're worthy, if we're fitting, but that's what gives us the power, since they're inherently servants, gives us the power over them. Makbil l'seder haneshamos, and they're parallel to the order of the neshamos. Meaning the angels will parallel up, like one to one or set to set, matching the order of the neshamos. Haseder shehu b'chinas neshamos ki kol davar kol prate because everything kol pratov omdim lefi b'chinas hadavarhu. All of its details stand according to its aspects, which basically what he's saying is in a very cryptic way, or in a very poetic way. He's saying that since the servants are for Hashem's spheres, and for the world, then they have to parallel the world. There has to be a servant for every part of the world. So now we're going to discuss every sphere, every level that there is, and what the servant is. Because, like, if you put on clothes, the clothes have to fit your body perfectly. There have to be a place for the arms, and a place for the legs, and a place for the head. Otherwise, there wouldn't be appropriate clothes. So here, the angels are created to serve Hashem, to serve the spheres, Hashem, and to serve us also in a later date. So they have to parallel us, and they have to parallel the spheres. So Teda, shebeklolus kol inyan hamalachim hu mem matat. The name of the main principle of all the angels is matat. He's kind of like the summarization of all the good angels, or the main angel, so to speak, in a sense. V'kvayadata sheshorosh hamalachim hu yitzir. We already know that the world that angels were created, formed, came out of, is the world of Yetzirah. Out of the four worlds that there are, Atzilus is the highest. That's the godly world. There's only God in that world. The next world is Yom Habriya, where souls came out of. The third world is Olam Yetzirah, where angels came out of. And the fourth world is a world of physicality, where physicality came out of. So the angel Matat is the angel of the Yetzirah world. He's the main angel of Yetzirah world. The Matatu Yetzirah. And also in many places we call Matat Yetzirah itself, because that's the main operative topic of the world of Yetzirah. Achu kol b'chinas hamalachim. But since I guess he's also that, he includes all of the aspects of the malachim. He kind of culminates. He's like the king, the head malach, the king angel. Ach hamishtatfim, ach hamispashtim, af hamispashtim b'bria v'yasiyah. He's saying even the angels that go out to bring out the bidding of bria and yitzir. So this is a little bit. We discussed this before, that there are basically, the main place for angels is in the three lower worlds. So why three lower worlds? Why not from the world of Yetzirah, the two lower worlds, where the angels are only created in the Yetzirah world? And the answer is that they actually come up to serve, kind of like a servant or a slave, serving in the throne of a master, where what is a slave doing in front of a king? And the answer is very simple. He's coming to serve him. So in that sense, also the angels of Yetzirah, angels who are created in Yetzirah, who are in a sense slaves and servants, they are able to go up to Bria to serve, even though that's not their real place. So that's what the Ramchal is saying here. They're mispashet into Bria and Asiyah. They spread out, even though their main place is Yetzirah. That's where they're created, and that's their like home base. They also spread out to serve and to bring out the Yetzirah, the topic, the Inyanim in Bria and Yetzirah. Okay, that's the general idea of Malachim. Now we're going to get into the 10 categories, the 10 groups or clans. I don't know, kitot, 10 classes of the 10 general principal classes of angels. So, Seder Chiluk L'Eser Kitos. Now, the way they divide into 10 groups is like this. 3 of them are in Bria. 3 of these groups go into Bria. Visarehem, and the names of these 3 angels that go into Bria, we're not going to say the whole name, but these. So basically, we're going to give now the names of the ministering angels the head angels of the ones that go out to serve in Bria. Is this name? This is the first name. It sounds like my name, Shmui, right? So Shmui and then Kel, and then the Memtes, Malach Memtes, and here Yud Kei Vav with a Kel at the end. These are the names of. These are the 3 names of the ministering angels inside the Olam HaBriya, which is the second world from the third world from the bottom, second world from the top, counting that. Okay, and 6 groups go into Yetzirah. In the second world, or the second world that we're talking about, we have Bria. The angels are in the first 3, in the lower 3 worlds. The first world that they're in is in Bria. The second one is in Yetzirah. And they have 6 groups there, and their names are, and then afterwards, I guess, and then the last one. So we have 9 so far, and then the last one is in Asiyah. The last one is in the 4th world. Omnam hem ispashtim k'mo hashorish. Now he didn't give the names yet of those. They spread out like the root, which means, as he explains here. Okay, I don't exactly understand what it means here, but they spread out in the same form as they do inside in their root, in their home base in Yetzirah. Okay. And just like in the root, which is the spheros and the neshamas, which are called roots in the world, as opposed to, we're like the main players, as opposed to servants who aren't supposed to be main players at all. They're supposed to be kind of like invisible. They're supposed to be bringing out the will of the roots. So the roots are ultimately, obviously, Hashem, but also Hashem gave us the ability, freedom of choice, and that makes us a root also. So we are internal, and the angels are external in the world, like less important, less of the main thing. So we are the roots. We also have, he's saying here, just like the roots are us, humans, we have chitzonius and pnimius. In this sense, I think that he calls it the body and the soul, which is our main point, which is obviously the pnimius, the internal parts, and the external, which is the less important part. Kach yesh lemalachim chitzonius. Also, the malachim have also chitzonius, Vehem b'chelik hatachton shebasiya. They also have, I think he means to say, the chitzonius and pnimius, that they have internal and external parts, and the external angels actually act inside Asiya. Vehem b'chelik hatachton shebasiya. They're in the lower part of Asiya. K'mo shehu shorsh hagashmius. Just like the lower part of Asiya is the root of all physicality, which actually comes from the lower part of Asiya. And they are on the level of the end, like by the foot or the bottom of the main malach, which we said is Malach Matat. His name is Matat. For some reason, the Mekubalim, they say this name. They don't. Most other names they don't say, but this name they say. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe he has a fuller name that I'm not so familiar with. Ach klalusam hu. Now, we said we're now talking about the angels of the Asiya, the lowest world. What is the angel of the lowest world? What is his name? His name, the main angel in that world, the head angel, is this. It's two words in English. One is sandal, and the other one is phone. Two words together is the main angel of the physical world. In the not just the physical world, but all what's called the world of action, which kind of includes a little bit more than physicality, because there's also spiritual action, so to speak. But anything that's included in the category of action is included here. V'nimtza lefize, I think that they say this name also, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to call him Sandal, even though he has a full name. Sandal Husof Matat. Really, Sandal is an angel that is at the end, sitting at the bottom of the angel of Matat, because Matat kind of includes includes all of the other angels, so he's bigger than all of them, and they all stand in a different place on top of him, because he is a culmination of all of them. But he's a different aspect than Matat, and therefore he has a different job, a different role. And his main role is Asiya. Pirush, we're going to, as he's going to explain, Ki ken chitzonius v'apnimius, chitzonius eino ki'im sof shel apnimius. Now this is a general principle in Kabbalah that there's always the internal and external levels, and the internal levels are, the end of the internal is always the external. So here he's saying that the end of the Matat, which is the main internal angel, the main running angel of all the worlds, so he is the internal one, and the lowest one that's relates to him is, and the lowest one that there is of the classes of angels, at least in the holy side. And we're going to speak about maybe in the unholy side is a different thing. I don't know if I think we're going to get to it. Then his name is Sandal, right, with a phone at the end, and that's a general principle for all of Kabbalah. The lowest aspect of you is going to be your subordinate. How? Your personal feelings and your personal mind and thoughts and heart, whatever it is that's inside of you, that's deep inside of you, these are things that your subordinate, let's say your servant, whatever, he has no concept of. He only knows from you what you say or what you reveal. That's like the final word. What comes out of you, the lowest part that comes out of you, is going to be something that he's going to take, and it's going to be his whole existence. So your command, which is really after all of your feelings and all of your thoughts and everything, you decided to say something, you decided to tell your servant what to do, that's all your servant has. That's his whole life. His whole life is that mission, to fulfill your will. Your word, really, not just your will. So that's why, this is just an example of how the external, which here in this particular case we're talking about servants, the external is going to always be the lowest level of the internal, and the lowest level in this example that we're giving will be like your command. Your command is the lowest level. It's like after everything, after you worked out your desire, you worked out what you want, you worked out how you want it, you go and you just say over to your servant, do like this, and he does it. If he's a good servant. Okay, v'chitzonius, even so, it's considered a level in and of itself, the chitzonius. So Sandal, the angel Sandal, and all of his group is considered a class in and of themselves. Umakbeles lekol bechinas apnimius, and therefore they are going to have 10 spheres, or they're going to parallel the 10 spheres of the world of Asiya, in order to match up, because they have to match up the world of Asiya perfectly and completely, even though they're only one small aspect of the main angel of Matat. Okay, va'az nechshavim l'shnei ma'oros, and then they're considered, once the sandal takes its place in Olam Asiya, they are now considered two lights, two luminaries. V'lachen b'sod zeh sandal hu kmo matat, and in this aspect, sandal is very similar to matat. Why? Ki hu makbil elav mamash, because it is literally parallel to matat. We said matat is the ministering angel in the Olam Habriya, and he's the main angel in Olam Habriya. Af al pi she'eino ela sofo, even though he's only the end and he's really part of Matat, still they're two ministering angels. One in the world of Yetzirah, and he also is in charge of Bria, also in the ministering aspect, serving the world of Bria, and the other one is in Asiya. Valkein, Matat and Sandal hem shnei kruvim. These are the two kruvim that sit on top of in the Kodesh Kodashim. These are angels. What angels are they? They're not angels with halos on their heads for any particular purpose. They are the two ministering angels, the two main ministering angels of the whole world that exists anywhere. These two angels are the main ones. The higher one is Malach Matat, and it is a great thing to be able to see him and to have anything to do with him. He's a very special holy angel. And much, much lesser one is the Sandal, which is much lower and much different worlds. But these are two kruvim, v'hem shnei na'ari hashchina, and they are the two young servants, so to speak, or young boys of the Shechina. Shem, not calling them sons of the Shechina necessarily, but they are the two boys of the Shechina. Narim are young men. That's why they're pictures of a young boy and a young girl. The face, the images of the kruvim. Shehem kolalim kol habechinos. And these two include all of the bechinas of Malachim. I think that's what he's going to add here. He's adding 993 in the footnote. Kol bechinas of Malachim, right? That all the aspects of the Malachim are included in these two angels. So the real one is, again, Matat. The secondary, and he's in charge of Yetzirah, and though he didn't say explicitly, also I understand also Bria. And the one that's in charge of Asiya, the lowest world, is Sandal. So now we went back to explain now that also angels have internal and external angels. The internal angel the main internal angel is Matat. The subordinate angel in the external angel is Sandal. We also see that by the fact that Sandal is ministering in the world of action, and the action is external as opposed to the upper worlds, which are more internal. Okay, that is, I would say, pretty revealing. That is two small paragraphs. This is like the introduction 101 to angels. Okay, now we're going to get into more details. Asar kitos hamalachim shebekol olam. We're going to get into we're going to discuss the 10 groups of angels in each world and their names. So if you bump into a name of an angel, you'll be able to know which world he's from and which group he's from, if you know his ministering angel, and which sphera he's coming to bring out the will of. However, you must know, there are many different divisions according to the necessity of rulership, of ruling Hashem has in ruling the world. 993 Kol Bechinas Hamalachim. That's interesting. 993 Aleph. Okay, there's a special chapter on this, a discussion on this in one of the Ramchal's from Tikkunim Chadashim, which is not based on Arizal necessarily. You might find things there that you won't find anywhere else. The discussion of the angels and their divisions. You could see there in the footnote here. Okay, Vasayim Tamid Hem Osam Hamakbilim. Vasayim Tamid Hem Osam Hamakbilim. Now these servants, these ministers, are always parallel to the powers that cause them to be aligned in this order. I understand what he's saying is, hold on a second, I'm just going to translate, that's a little bit, I think we'll see in a second, but I understand this to mean that he's saying, why do the 10 Malachim take upon this form that they're gonna take upon? And it's really the form that parallels this form of the spheres. And the answer, we're talking about spiritual form, obviously there's no such thing as physical form in any of these realms. But the reason is that they're coming to, that it's really the internal spheres that are causing them to align according to the alignment of the spheres. So let's say you have a group of people. I'm just giving a little analogy. You have a group of people, and you have a bunch of kings that come in. So these people have to be, working for the kings, and they're going to organize themselves according to the amount and type of kings that they have. So really, it's the kings that are going to cause the organization. Meaning, one king is going to take for himself the strong ones because he has a lot of heavy work to do, and another king is going to take for himself the smart ones because he's interested in sciences, he wants to build them. So each king, according to his nature, is going to actually cause the organization of the angels in his way. So too, in a sense, the 10 spheres cause the organization of the angels that we're about to see. And the first organization of these worlds, we said each world has a group of angels. This singular group divides into 10 subgroups in each world. I understand, that to be in each world. I didn't say explicitly. Yeah. Okay. Like we said before, the three are going to be in Bria, 6 in Yetzirah, and 1 in Asiya, in the world of action. But they're going to be divided. Let's see, hold on a second. והנה, החילוק הראשון הוא לסדר 10 כיתות שזכרתי, ושורשם הוא עניין ביצירה. The main root is going to be in Yetzirah. אחר כך מספשת בכל עולמות, as we said before, they spread into all of the worlds. Now he's going to explain. כי הגימל כיתות שבבריאה מספשתים כמו כן ליוד. Because we said that 3 in Bria, 6 in Yetzirah, and 1 in Yetzirah. So those 3 that go to Bria, the 3 groups of angels that go to Bria, are actually going to be redivided into 10. Because again, there are 10, so to speak, in the analogy, 10 kings. There's really 1 king, but there's 10 spheres, and each one of them is going to take for themselves the aspects of the angels that are appropriate for them. We're going to see how this is divided. And this happens also by the 6 in Yetzirah. They're redivided into 10. And also the singular 1 in Asiya, also he's going to be redivided, his group is going to be redivided into 10. Achem besod eser de Bria, v'chen eser de Yetzirah, v'chen eser de Asiya. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what he's adding by that. So he says in the footnote, this is Rav Friedlander, he says, even though the root of the division comes from Yetzirah, because in Yetzirah we start off with 10 groups, right? 10 groups of angels. We sent 3 up to Bria. We sent 1 down to Asiya. So now we start off with 10. You would think that would be the way we would divide into each, divide a third, send it into Bria. Take a third of the 10, of each one of the 10, keep in Yetzirah, and take a third of each one of the 10 and bring it down to Asiya. That's not how we're doing it. We're dividing it differently. We're dividing it by 3, 6, and 1. In Kozan Maud Eser Kito Shababria He Mibria. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what the Ramchal is adding, apparently Friedlander is disturbed by that too, and he's answering it, and I didn't really understand what he's adding. So we're just going to continue. Okay, the names of the 10 groups of angels in general, we're going to see. The Shem Hayud Kitos b'machlakosam haklalis. In the general organization of these angels, their names are V'shem Sarim ha'omdim lahamir haseder hazeh ketikunu b'chol makom asher yesham. And we're going to the names of their ministering angels. So we're going to name the groups and name the ministering angels. Milamala lamata, from top down, we're going to name them. Srafim, the Srafim angels. Those are the highest angels. It's easy to remember that. Srafim means the word lisrof, to burn. Like they're burning on fire. Those are the highest ones. Visaram, who, this, Yud Kei Vav and then Kel, these are the highest. Ofanim, Visaram Rafal. You could say that name because it's a name of a person. So, and then Kruvim, Visaram Kruv. The name of the Kruv, the name of the ministering angels. Again, in the first division is this. Hold on a second. Here's a footnote here. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what he's saying. Okay, but the Kruv here is the name of the angels in Yitzir in Bria is this, and they're called Srafim. The name of the next level is going to be Rafal, which is in the second world, and their name are Ophanim. The type of angels are called Ophanim, and the third one is Kruvim, and they are the head in ministering angel. His name is Kruv. It's interesting that we said before that one of the angels is actually the Kruv of the one of the Kruvim on the in the Kodesh Kodashim. Wait, okay, these are words I don't exactly know how to pronounce that, but these are names of ministering angels. Shnanim, and the head of the Shnanim group is these are more groups of angels, different types. We've heard of the first three types. The fourth type is Shnanim, and their name is Tzadki, with a kel at the end. And Tashishim, another type of angels, and the head of their group is Tarshish. And Chashmalim, another type of angel, does nothing to do with electricity, just made up word that the Israelis made up. Chashmalim, and the head of that angel is called Chashmal. And the Malachim, here it's interesting. There is a group of Malachim called Malachim, which means angels. Visaram Uziel. These are all regular names, you could say them. Bnei Elokim, another type of angel called Bnei Elokim, and their tsar is called Chafni, and Ishim, which could be people or fire, and their ministering angel is Tzafni. And Arelim, another type of angel, and their head of those types of groups of angels is Michal. Okay, again, these are the 10 groups of angels. So I understand that these groups of angels, I guess, these are the 10 groups of angels and the names of the angels that might be, I guess we're going to see in a second. Okay. Now we're going to divide these angels into four, there's going to be a division of these angels into four camps, four general camps. So this is one division that we discussed, the division of 10. Now we're going to discuss a division into four groups. The four camps. Visare hachaluka hazos arba. There are the four groups here, which is Michal, Gavriel, Uriel, and Rafal. These are some of the most famous angels, and they are the head of the four major camps. V'tzarich sheteda ki harbe pu'ulos nimtzoos lamalachim lefi chiluk sidrei hashorish. You have to know that there are very many actions that angels have according to the changes of the roots, which means, I guess they're referring to the spheres here. Let's see, 103. Yeah. According to the changes of the spheres, meaning when the spheres are aligned in a certain position and Hashem wants to bring out a certain character trait, so he sets up the spheres in a certain way, then the angels also have to reorganize and set up in that way. Kind of like battling troops, that so you want to bring out a certain attack, so the troops also have to realign to fit with that attack. So when Hashem wants to bring out a certain desire, certain action, the angels realign themselves. Hatzrichim lanhaga bizmanehem, according to the necessity of the governance that Hashem wants to bring out at that moment, or at those times. V'chen yischalfu sidrei machanosehem, and also similarly the camps will be changed to the division of the camps. V'al kol chiluf seder nimtza sar pakid ala sederhu, and in every change of order, there's going to be a ministering angel that is in charge of that order. Kanal. Therefore, there's going to be reorganizations and redivisions constantly. And you're going to have to know what the division is, what the moment is, what the hanhaga is, in order to, let's say, address the proper angel, or in order to understand which angel is ministering at that job. For example, let me just give an example kind of in governance. Let's say you have the Secret Service coming, knocking at your door. So you're going to have a number of different groups. You may have, some policemen or the SWAT team, and it's really run by the Secret Service. So the head of the operation, let's say, that's coming to, let's say, catch a terrorist or something like that, or to save a person, save someone from something, is going to be a different head in different positions. Sometimes the head might not be the Secret Service; it might be the fire department, who might, let's say, bring on some Secret Service people in order to save some kid who's about to fall from a really tall building or something. I don't know. Where really the head person is going to be, and the head is going to be one of the different ministering people at that time, according to the governance, according to the necessity of that time and moment. Same thing in the angels; they're going to be reorganized and restructured. Very dynamically and according to time and, I would say place, but that wouldn't, maybe place, time. According to time and need. According in each organization, there is a minister of that organization, of that seder, of that structure. Kanal, as we said before. Okay, we're going to find, so basically it's very important, if a person has spiritual perception, he has Ruach HaKodesh, and he could see the ministering angel of that moment, he will know if the ministering angel is let's say, an attacking angel or a defending angel, if it's a angel that is bringing down bounty or not. For example, let's just take the corona, which is happening right now. Like, we don't really know what the final big purpose is. Is it chas v'shalom, Hashem should protect us, mass destruction that's really coming about, or is it really some very beneficial thing that's coming about? And and there are some casualties, maybe incidentally or something like that, and that's kind of like some angel of kindness coming down, and for whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure, that there may be some, sometimes when roads have to be built, then houses have to be plowed down, or other similar things, in order to make some sacrifices that need to be made. It's kind of complicated how this sometimes works. That these, even in spiritual worlds, sacrifices are made in a sense. I'm not talking about animal sacrifices. I'm not talking about human sacrifices either. Not from humans doing sacrifices. I'm talking about if Hashem chooses to sometimes take holy people or good people from this world in order to bring about a certain perfection in Shemaim, a certain to fix something, kind of like taking a punishment by taking a tzaddik or taking a holy person. So maybe that's what's really happening here. We don't really know. If a person were to be able to go into Shemaim and see the ministering angel that's dealing with this topic of corona, let's say, then you'd be able to understand. Just by seeing him, by knowing his name, by knowing who he is, you would know what his general job is, which one of the 10 groups he's from, what his general purpose would be, and he would be the ministering angel. If he's a firefighter, so to speak, so he's coming to save someone, and if he was so to speak, the head of the FBI, the CIA, or the whatever it is, NSA, dealing with terrorist attacks, then you know what they're coming to do. Basically, that's a summary of this thing. Okay, v'yesh sedarim hapolim tamid. Now, there are temporary organizations, kind of like when there's a mission that needs people from this unit and people from that unit. Here there's a mission that Hashem has that needs angels from this unit, angels from that unit to come together. They come together in that form. Those are individual, special units that are created on the fly for certain purposes. However, there also are set units and set groups that usually act. I don't know if it's usually, but they're just set all the time. And there are others that sometimes go and are changed underneath those. For example, the head Minister of Defense in the government is going to stay the Minister of Defense, and no matter how you organize it, he's probably going to stay the Minister of Defense in all situations, whereas some are going to be changing depending on how low they are or what type of group they're joining at that moment. And according to this idea that we just described, is the names of the angels that were changed, that are changed, and the names of the angels that are set all the time. So this is one of the things that in the time of the destruction of I think the first Beis Hamikdash, I don't think the second one, I think it was the first Beis Hamikdash, it was said in the Gemara, it says in Midrashim, that the rabbis, the people, they knew all the names of the angels. The name of the angel they could bring down fire, and they could control the angels. So there was no way that anyone was going to ever capture them. They were so strong. And because they didn't have to fight like regular people, they would be able to call down the power of the angel and bring down fire or water to drown people or just destroy, do whatever they wanted, really. And they didn't believe that they were going to be destroyed. What Hashem did, really, they wouldn't have been destroyed if Hashem didn't do this, or if he didn't do something else similar, I guess. But one of the things he did to make this happen, to make us fall and the Beis Hamikdash be destroyed, was he changed all the names of the angels. So when someone would go out to battle and he would call down an angel of fire, he would really bring down the angel of water, and that would just make everyone wet, and they would just laugh, or something like that. It wouldn't be effective in battle. They would not know the name of the angel in charge of what they were asking to be done, or could possibly be that the angel wouldn't answer at all because they're not being asked to do something that they're empowered to do. So this is something that is constant. There are some things here that are constantly changing. The names of the angels. Not all the angels, but many of the angels are constantly changing. I'm kind of assuming that the ones written in our books, in our Sfarim, are set. And they're not the ones that are changing all the time. The ones that are changing, you have to see firsthand to know the names. That's what I would imagine, basically through Ruach HaKodesh or through some structure which I'm not so familiar with, but there may be written in certain Sfarim. I think it maybe describes actually remember now, the constellations, and different constellations, different powers serve at different moments. So you have to know which moment. That's just a part of it, I guess. Constellations, but obviously depending on what Hashem is trying to do in this world, like if he's trying to bring Corona for some kind of good purpose and that's going to come to world peace and some amazing discovery or who knows what, or the coming of Mashiach, or if it's coming for something else, then that you probably can only know through Ruach HaKodesh. V'klal ha'inyan, now to summarize this all up, l'chol me'or, l'chol harkavosov, for every light and for every one of its combinations, nimtza mishas echad b'malachim. This is a very important principle. Every light of the spheres, and every aspect of the root of creation in the spheres, has an angel to serve it. Vu omed tachtov, tachas saro hakayam hamekaimo beseder shebo hu tzarich lios lefi apulahi. And this servant stands underneath its master, which is the sphere, which is the light, and stands in the form that is necessary to perform the will, the action of the light itself, of Hashem. The Malachei Matat hemapnimim, and the angel Matat and his group are internal. Hamischalkim b'machlekoseihem kanal. V'malchei Sandal hem malachim harakia v'kochovim, and the angels of Sandal are the angels of the Rakia, which means the heavens, and the Kruvim. Shehem memune hagashmis, and they are in charge of gashmis, physicality. Okay, the next paragraph discusses the 10 Havayas, the 10 names of Hashem, with their Nakudos, and how they are roots to each one of the groups of angels. So now we're going to get into the relationship, kind of, between, in this we're going to discuss the relationship between the names of Hashem with different Nakudos and we're not really going to describe it in detail, and the angels that serve. We said each sphere has an angel serving it. Now we're going to discuss that a little bit more. Vine Shorshehem, after that we're going to get into Sitrach, or the evil stuff. Vine HaShorashim, the roots, Gam Hem Tzrichim Lahayir Bispashtus Prati. They also have to, since the root really is Hashem, but Hashem reveals His light in 10 different ways. L'fiyam Metzius Shem Tzrichim Limatza, according to the existence that Hashem wants to bring into existence. For example, if He wants kindness, He's going to bring out the sphere of Chesed. If He wants strength, power, and punishment, He's going to bring out the sphere of Gvura. V'klos ha'inyan hu seder eser shemas havayan. The general principle for the 10 roots, the names of the 10 roots. The light of the 10 roots is the 10 names Havaya. Minukadim b'nikudehem pratim, with different nukudos. There are different vowels that are given to the Shem Havaya. For example, kamatz, which is a line, a straight line with a small line or a dot underneath. That is keser, and then a pasach, which is just a straight line underneath each letter, is a kamatz. That's chochma, and so on and so forth. That's pasach, sorry, and then so on and so forth. Each name of Hashem has a different nukudos to bring out that name of Hashem. Sorry, each name of Hashem has different nukudos that come to represent or to bring out that inyan of that sphere. So there's a name with a nakuda that's associated with a certain sphere. And there are really nine nakudos, and the Malchus, which is the lowest one, doesn't have any nakudos. It's like empty. Vehem hamavuarim b'sefer Bris Menucha. This is explained in the sefer, the very holy sefer Bris Menucha. The Ramchal was a very big fan of that sefer, if I could say such a thing. A very early Kabbalist wrote it, which deals with all sorts of different names of Hashem and their vowels, and the names of the Malachim. And Ramchal mentions him many times. V'sodram hisnotzus maros b'seder esespheres, and their organization is, they're organized according to the light that comes out of according to the light in the form of his esespheres. Hisnotzus prati shememeno mikablim kol malachim lefi sod machlakosehem. Basically, each one of these names, a name with vowels, is bringing out a specific light of a specific sphere, and a specific group of angel is going to receive that light and pass it on. That light is going to be his energy to be able to fulfill the will. V'hu haseder hamamid osam ba'oso b'china sheba malachim makpilim l'chol pratei haneshamos l'fi b'chinaseim. Now, this is the light that lets it have the form that it does. The angels take on the human form in a sense, that they have the 10 aspects, 10 parts of them. And that's why they really parallel the form of the neshama, because the form of the neshama is also structured in the form of the 10 spheres. Okay, that's it for the malachim. Afterwards, we get into the different aspects of the evil side.